Right, I'm gonna have a go at something else now. I've been asked something, I've been telling people how to put on pellets and stuff the way I do it, not to put them on the way they do it, but there we go. This is it. So I'm using these so I don't get shit all over my hands, because they're easier. These are my pop-up what I use on the end, but that's up and down. I'll do another rig on those. So usually use, oh that's gone skew here. So usually put 2 of these on, and we'll pretend these are your normal bottom bait pellets. As I say, these are pop-ups. Before anyone says, oh they're pop-ups. Yep, I know they're pop-ups. So they're pop-ups. Okay, can't remember how big they are. Let me have a look. These are dynamite. They are, oh I can't fucking remember. Doesn't say, I'm not sure. 22 mil they reckon. So they're 22 mil. Absolutely stand up anything they do. So I'm going to use magma. So I use a long piece of magma. I'd say probably 18-19 inch. What you want it to do really is to go around the whole, whatever size cat you're fishing for, go right round its head and back, so it's like a circle. Yeah, so that's how big you really want the rig. Otherwise you don't want a deep hooked fish. That's my opinion anyway. So we'll cut that off there. Now we'll just tie a normal figure of 8. Okay, so we measure these like so. So you want one about double the size of whatever you're gonna put on. Okay, so that technically is your hair, a big loop on the end. Yes, I'm not using pullers. This is thick motherfucking stuff. You don't need pullers. You just put it with your hands. Be a man. So what we do then is we get a hook, which I haven't got here. That's good. Get a hook. That's my hook of choice. Just had a good deal on these actually. Go in through the top and come out the bottom. Pull it all the way up. Now you could put the pellets on first if you wanted to, but I'm just going to tie a normal rig. Okay, we all know how to do knotless knots. Shouldn't be catfishing if you don't. So there we have it. So as you know, that's just a basic normal giant hair rig if you like. So we put them on like so, thread them straight onto the hair. They're on like that. So depending on how big your loop is, you can put it over the first if you've got a grippy one, or over the second. So this one's going over the first. Take it, put it back over it, so it goes over. Pull it tight like so, and there we have it. It'll last longer in the water. There's no need for hairs. It's really fast. You can pull in and out as fast as you want. All sorts. And it's just a standard hair rig. Yes, it'll turn. They all should turn. At the end of the day, it's a massive weight on the end of there. But these are pop-ups, as I said. I usually use 2 of these. Sorry, a quarter of one of these for 2 30mm pellets. So I just use them as a sighter, and they sit up they sort of sit up a little bit like that, really. Just on the end. Pretty good. And they smell awesome. I do like the smell of these. These are squid and octopus, but you can get I think you can get eel and stuff like that. Freshwater eel. Really nice. So I hope that's cleared that up, because a few people are still asking me. That's fairly short, that rig, actually. I would actually go longer than that. I've tied that quite short because I'm in my man shed or cave. I would tie it much longer than that. You get a 40-pound cat now, it'll engulf that. It could do right the way up to here. The stuff I'm using here is this magma armor coat. This is £45, but if you ever have a cat and you feel down your braid after, you'll find it's all cat and stuff. But it's not just the teeth. The actual pecks on the sides have got, I think it's the males or when they're in spawning season, but they've got little tiny nubs, which are little bony nubs on the end of them. They can just cut you clean off. The bigger the cat, the stronger and sharper they are. So just be warned of that, even when unhooking. Cheers, lads. Right, guys, here's another one. Here's another little trick that I've learnt over the years as well. Meat keeps falling off. People say put a piece of pipe through the middle of it, all sorts of stuff like that. You're using half a tin of luncheon meat, stuff like that. But I come across these, the bits anglers. They used to use little meat springs, probably still do, I don't know, I'm not into the world of that shit. But little tiny meat springs. Anyway, you can get them in huge. I think they're 30, 40 mil, something like that. So they come like this, and they're just a little spring, right? And on the very end of them, they have a little loop. So you just tie your normal hair, and onto the end, you just tie this. And obviously, get your meat. Just get half a tin of luncheon meat, quarter of a tin, whatever you want to use. Twist it, just turn it on. Don't turn the meat, turn the actual spring. Just keep turning it in and in and in until it gets down to there, and then it's on your hair. It is solid. Been on all night. I've even had a cat on them, and the meat's still on as I brought it in, and it's still in the spring. Absolutely brilliant. Stops your meat coming off. Even unwanted attention, like your poxy little fish that are nibbling at it and rounding it all up and stuff, it won't come off. So there's something else. That's my my tip 3, really, I should say. And there they are. You can find them on eBay. You've just got to look at the sizes, because I have messed up a couple of times and bought some real tiny things. Cheers. Right, guys, catfishing again. This is just one that I've just remembered about, really. So this is basically a little tiny live bait. It's for a small live bait, this one. That's I think that's a size 2 wave hook. Eagle wave hook, I should say. Again, that's £45. This has actually had a fish on it. I can feel the grating all the way down. So anyway, I just use a pipe ball, put it through, and you get these. You can buy these in the shops. They're like a little piece of rubber, little flap. So basically, you put the fish on, or your squid, whichever you want, because you can have it popped up or down. Put the squid up, or the fish up to that point there. Pull the rubber on the disc and put up to there. Now, a little handy hint that I've got is this little disc here. Instead of paying 2 or 3 quid for them off Catmaster or whoever else sells them, get a bike tyre, just an old bike tyre, cut it up, and you've got as much as you want there. Do you know what I mean? I've been using rubber for years, little tiny bits of rubber, epoxy. You might as well just get a bike tyre and cut it up. I only swore about this the other day, so that's pretty good, like. Anyway, so I use a little, that's just any ball really. This one's a Pike Pro. I think that's 17 mil, something like that, 18 mil. And then I always use a little tiny rattler. You can buy these rattlers offline. I don't know how much they are, I can't remember. I've got millions of them, but they've got a little ball bearing, and you make them up yourself when you buy them. Just a little, make a little noise for, and you can put worms on that, because it's a good worm rig as well. Put all the worms on, let all the worms all dangle down, and any movement in that water only has to take one little click. It's totally alien to what they're used to. And that one goes down, and that was one of my short running rigs that just sits there like that. Now these, as you can see then, it slipped back down. Now I do use, the stop has come up, as I said, this one's a used rig. I use those rubber float stops. I just put a little tiny rubber float stop. If you haven't got them, anything will do. Bit of, you know, a bit of cart rubber, anything, I can't remember what it's called now. Marker elastic, stuff like that. Just put it on there, and it stops it from sliding all back down, and keeps it with the fish. And the fish just keeps going round and round and round. The more it struggles, the more it rattles. The more it rattles, the more chance you got of catching a big cat. Now the other thing I do, I don't really tie to a swivel either. I put them exactly the same as a carp. I put them onto a quick link. I use normal carp quick links, unless I'm going for something over £60, and I use my beast swivels and tie straight to them. But when they're in the net and you want to deal with the fish, especially at night and you by yourself, it's a real nightmare, real pain. Most cats are alright on the bank, but you get some of them that are just a pain in the ass. You can just unclip, before you even get them out of the water, unclip off the quick link, and off you go to your mat. Cheers, guys. Now this is my last one. This is one for my live baits in the surface. I usually use this towards when it's really hot, because the cats seem to strike from underneath. But in shallow waters, a little roach or something near the surface, or just, you know, about a foot down underneath the surface, they're pretty good, like. So this one, this is what my take on a live bait rig really. It's up a small roach I use it for. These balls here, I don't buy those from all these places. I get these I went into B&M, saw a kid's toy, it shoots little balls out, 30 mils these are. And I just bought the toy, I think it was 150. I had, I think it was 8 of these balls. I got some plastic tubing, which I've had. You can get it in sea fishing, it's much cheaper in sea fishing, offline or in the shop. Pretty good. On the end of there, just put some silicone, some real weak silicone. It's got to be quite, not the hard stuff, just the soft stuff. And then basically what you do is you put your line all the way through, straight down to your rig, as the one I showed you just before, like that, but without the ball on, so it can just kind of rattle. Put your swivel, lock your swivel into this little bit of silicone here, so that if you had a fish, it can actually dip and take. And coming out of here, you just have your line just coming out as normal, and it's held just by that there. And you pull all tight down to a running lead at the bottom of here, and then to your what's thing. You'll see this just dips down. You can see it for miles, but it keeps the fish on the surface, and they can't pull it down. Or it keeps going around. If you have a take, obviously, it goes down, you see it like this, or vice versa. If you don't have a take, it can come up as well. If they pick up, when the cat hits it, you just see a big, and then you see this one darting away. Very exciting. That's something else to look at anyway. Cheers guys.